2025? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. At this time, it is my pleasure to wish some great thoughts, great parting words to our esteemed colleague, Mr. Reedy. It has been an honor to have you serve with us the last 3 years, and it won't be the same without you. I know we joked earlier about favorite moments, and there were several that come to mind. But really, it has been just a pleasure to have you as part of our team, and we're going to miss you. And we have a little, Parkway has a little token of our appreciation for you as you depart. Anyone else care to share any?
Yeah, I was going to say, Rob and I were elected together 3 years ago. It was a pleasure getting to know you then. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you even more these past 3 years, and I wish you nothing but the best as you go forward.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
Well, Rob, I made a comment earlier, but I just want to say on behalf of the administrative team, we all enjoyed working with you and your support of Parkway and our schools, our students, one another. Thanks for all your hard work, and again, you're an advocate of public education. We hope you continue that, even though you're not on the board, but we really appreciate your work, and again, thank you for all your good work and support.
And I'll add, I got to know you when you were exploring the possibility to do this, take on this role, and I think you've been great in this role, and I'm also happy to say, I think you developed a friendship, and it's just, that's not why you joined the school board, but these relationships matter, and they persevere, and I appreciate your service and being a friend.
That's right, Kevin. Thanks, man.
Any parting comments from you? Or
Yeah,
songs?
yeah, well,
It's always a good song.
I think comments. I think there'll be no singing departure comments tonight. But, I'll say a few things. It's my last chance to speak on this side of the podium. And I know that the organizational meeting, as I peer out into the audience, is sparsely attended. But I realize there's probably legions of Parkway fans watching in real time online right now, and those who aren't will be able to go into the archives and the annals and view this at any point in the future. So with that in mind, I thought I should say a few things to summarize my time on the board. But as I do so often, I didn't prepare remarks, and I'm just going to speak extemporaneously for a few minutes. When I ran for the board with Jeffrey, it was largely because I'd moved to Parkway 7 or 8 years before that from other parts throughout the metropolitan area. I grew up in North County, St. Louis, and being in Parkway, I knew it was a fantastic place for my kids and my stepchildren to get an education, and it has been just that, exceptional. I still have kids that are in elementary school that are going to hopefully go through the whole system and graduate and be another part of the community, a very robust and highly engaged alumni community that Parkway is. And I knew when I ran for the board, after talking to Kevin and others and just sort of being observational, that it was a district that was clearly going completely in the right direction. There was not going to be any need for activist board member or anybody to come in and shake things up or fix things, new sheriff in town, any of that stuff. It gave a lot of reverence to the fact that the district was already running on all cylinders, with great people in great positions, great administrators, great educators. And that remains the case. As John joins, he's going to be in a similar position, because even though we're all sort of diverse in our backgrounds, our stations in life, where we came from, some of us Parkway alumni, some of us not, we're homogenous in the fact that we all want the best for the kids and the staff. And that's been evident to me in every moment of being on the board. One of the things that I got to do while here, along with the rest of you, is help find a replacement superintendent after Dr. Marty announced his intention to retire. Of course, I held Dr. Marty in a very high regard before joining the board, and that hadn't changed after, and I knew that we had a very important job to do. I feel completely sure that we made an outstanding choice, and that as I leave the board, there's going to be great leadership moving forward. The one thing that I do want to say, though, outside of just sort of the ongoing endorsement of the board and the things that I think so strongly and positively about the board, and that is unflappable, that's unchanged, is just that now, unfortunately, I think the board might find themselves in some not precarious positions, but I think we will be challenged over the next few years. I think through external factors, there will be opposition to public education in ways that we hadn't experienced in the past, in ways that maybe we hadn't anticipated even a year ago. In addition to that, I have people very, very dear to me, very close to me, who are, for example, part of the LGBTQ+ community. I think these people, these young people, whether they be students, whether they be staff members, are going to feel unsafe. And to compound that, I think there will be overt ways to make them feel unsafe, again, through external factors outside the board. And I think at times, and although I hope this isn't true, I want you to harden yourselves for the possibility that there may be funding levers, there may be other things done where you're put in a position where you have to make some very difficult choices. But I'm encouraged by the fact that I know you'll always make the choices that, even though if they're difficult, will be in the best interest for the students and the staff, all the students and all the staff. So with that, I'm leaving the board, and it's bittersweet because, as Kevin said, we've become friends, and I like doing the work, and frankly, in a district this great, it's not a heavy lift. Things are sailing along pretty nicely. But because of all the things I said, and because I feel so confidently in the board, and John, as he joins the board, I know that the district will continue to move in a great direction. And I hope you do, because I'll be a parent of students here for the next several years, and I'll be observing, even though my life has taken me in a direction where it's very difficult for me to keep up the commitment to the board, and that's why I decided not to run, not because of lack of interest or lack of enjoyment in doing the work, but just because it was difficult to be the best board member and still be the best person at home, so that's why I chose not to run. But because everything I said here over the last few minutes, I leave with a very light heart, knowing that the good work will be done in a very good way, and I am happy and encouraged by that. So thank you all for becoming friends, and I look forward to all the good work you're going to do in the future.
Thank you very much. All right, next up, we will review the annual school board election results. As everyone remembers, the election was on the 8th of April. The votes were received as follows. Jeffrey Spector received 8,024 votes. Mia Robinson received 5,417 votes. John Kilper received 6,794 votes. Ally Seacott received 4,994 votes. Unofficial election results show that John Kilper and Jeffrey Spector were elected to the Parkway Board of Education. So, based on the election results shared, certificates of election will be given to our two newly elected board members. So at this time, Mr. Kilper and Mr. Spector, would you please join Board Secretary Nikki Stover at the podium for the administering of the oath of office.
All right, if you both would repeat after me and hold up your right hand. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
Support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of school director
discharge the duties of school director
in and for the Parkway School District,
in and for the Parkway School District,
County of St. Louis, State of Missouri,
County of St. Louis, State of Missouri,
to the best of my ability and according to law.
to the best of my ability and according to law.
Congratulations.
Yep. So at this time, Rob, you are excused from the board table. And John, please join us.
Just gather my things.
The slow walk off.
I didn't open the water.
Don't be a stranger.
We're gonna get a picture, I hope, at some point. Very good, thank you.
All right, we are going to now turn the meeting over to Dr. Marty briefly.
So welcome, Mr. Culver, and we're going to put you to work right away here. So it's my pleasure to proceed with the election of board officers for the upcoming year. Do I have a nomination for President of the Parkway Board of Education?
I nominate Jeff Todd.
Do I have a second? Do you have a second?
It's like a well-oiled machine.
Think about it.
Any other nominations for board president? Okay, hearing none, may I have a motion that the Board of Education elect Jeff Todd as president of the Board of Education for a one-year term commencing on April 16th, 2025 until the next organizational meeting in April of 2026?
So moved.
Second.
Okay? And will all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Mr. Todd, congratulations on being selected as the board president, re-elected as board president. Congratulations. Okay, now we move to the election of the vice president. Do I have a nomination for vice president of the Parkway Board of Education?
I've done some soul searching in this regard and decided that I think it's time to nominate Debbie Hopper.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Jeffrey, a second. Any other nominations? Hearing none, may I have a motion that the Board of Education elect Mrs. Hopper, Debbie Hopper, as Vice President of the Parkway Board of Education for a one-year term commencing on April 16, 2025 until the next organizational meeting in April of 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, Mrs. Hopper, congratulations on your reelection as Vice President of the Board of Education. And I just want to say, even though I will not be, got a couple more meetings, I appreciate the board and the Board of Education, and welcome, John. And I think the board is in excellent hands with our president and vice president continuing their role. So thank you very much. Congratulations.
Okay, next, we aren't going to do nominations because we're all pretty well happy with things. So may I have a motion and a second that the Board of Education appoint Nikki Stover as Secretary of the Board of Education commencing April 16th, 2025 until the next organizational meeting in April 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. And, go right ahead.
There was never a no.
And
Suspense is
also, may I have a motion and a second that the Board of Education appoint Carrie Nunn as our treasurer of the Board of Education commencing April 16th, 2025 until the next organizational meeting in April 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. We're stuck. Let's see, I have been, I'm an MSBA delegate, Missouri School Boards Association. for the past year and would be happy to continue serving as the MSBA delegate. Matt has agreed to serve as the alternate. Is there any discussion, or does anyone else wish to serve in those roles?
Done?
Thank you guys. Got it.
And may I have a motion and a second that the Board of Education appoint Jeff Todd as the MSBA delegate and Matthew Schindler as the MSBA alternate delegate from April 16th, 2025 until the next organizational meeting in April 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. And we have one more back there. May I have a motion and a second that the Board of Education appoint Elisa Tomich as the custodian of records commencing April 16th, 2025 until the next organizational meeting in April 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
Whether you want it or not.
Finally, may I have a motion and a second to adjourn the organizational meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. We will begin our regularly scheduled board meeting in about 8 minutes.
We got some family pictures here too of